Hello and welcome to a Noob Reviews, a series where I, the noob, takes a specific tank and gives you my impressions and review of that tank. Today we'll be looking at the Tier 7 American heavy tank, the T29. This tank is a hold-down beast with a very strong frontal turret armor and a very punchy, decent gun for Tier 7. Even if you're not top tier and you manage to go hold down, you can be a very good asset to your team. You can take a lot of shots and able to dish out a decent amount of damage in the process. Let's go ahead and look at it inside the garage. Personally, I think it looks great, and it has a very low hull profile, so you're able to get hull down fairly easily, and if you do, you manage to protect your hull and the sides of your turret, you become a beast. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the stats, and as always, this is with my current configuration, tank loadout, and crew, so yours may vary. The T25 has 1,250 HP with a top speed of 35 km an hour and an engine power of 800. It has a hull armor of 102 mm on the front, 76 on the sides, and 51 mm in the rear. The turret is where this tank shines. It has 279 mm of armor in the front, 127 on the sides, and 102 mm in the rear, but that turret armor is amazing in the front. It has a hull traverse speed of 25 degrees a second and a turret traverse of 35 degrees a second. The T29 has a view range base of 380 meters and a radio range of just under 777 meters. The load capacity for this tank is 66.8 metric tons with a current loadout that I currently have of 64.89 metric tons. Moving on to the top gun of the T29, it gets the 105mm gun T5E1. That gun allows, with my current configuration and crew, for an average DPM of 1,951. The standard AP rounds get a penetration of 198 mm, and the APCR get 245 mm, and the AG rounds that it can fire get 53 mm of penetration. With my current crew and loadout for this tank, the rate of fire is 6.1 rounds a minute with a reload time of 9.84 seconds, an aim time of 2.01 seconds, and a dispersion of 0.40. This tank being an American tank, it gets very decent gun depression of 10 degrees, so you can really poke ridges and keep hull down and only expose your turret when you need to. Okay, so that's basically it for the stats. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replays that I have lined up for you guys. The first replay I have for you guys is a top tier Tier 7 match standard battle on Malinovka. I am platooned with two other T29s driven by Jeremy and Dax. They are both members of the clan that I'm in. So we all decide to kind of stick together and go push the 0-9 line and get on top of the hill as soon as we can. We stop to take a few shots on the way up to the hill, but we don't really get anything accomplished. We don't really meet any resistance once we get to the top of the hill either, so we're trying to take these side shots over to these other guys and see what we can do. But we keep pushing and trying to take the hill as soon as possible, because that's a strong position to be in if you dominate the hill. And like I said, once we get to the top of the hill, there's really nobody here, so we decided just to keep pushing, carry our momentum down the hill, see if we can't get any shots on anybody camping into the woods around the AB4 area. You can see, unfortunately, Jeremy did take some fire coming up the hill, but luckily he's still got about half of his HP left, so we were able to continue and push on without too much of a worry. Right now, our biggest issue is getting spotted coming down this hill, because there's really nowhere to hide, and Artie is probably going to take some pot shots at us here once we do get spotted. Also, we're trying to get eyes back onto the T3485 and the Skoda T40 that was last spotted around the church. If we can do that, we have some TDs around the EF78 area that we can get shots on, hopefully. And now we can see we're spotted, so I kind of back up and try to juke the Artie if they do try to take shots at us. And then we get an IS spotted, and I think I get a shot into him. Yep, there we go. And we just light him up. So now we're in a tricky situation. We don't know where the T3485 Skoda T40 is. We definitely know the Artie's shooting at us because there's a shot right there. Jeremy takes a shot from somewhere. It looked like it might have been maybe the T3485 or the Skoda T40. Somewhere in there. So we decided to get in these woods as fast as we can, try to spot the Artie or anything hiding in here, just to try to get some good vision on these guys, so the rest of our guys coming up behind us on our team can get some shots on them as well. And right there, the M4 and the KV1 was spotted. Not very big threats, but still they can able able to do some damage to us, so we need to take them out as soon as possible. And right there, it looks like Jeremy gets taken out, unfortunately, by the Skoda T40, so he's definitely around here somewhere, and we definitely need to get eyes on him as soon as possible, because he's a good player. So now the KV-1 is dead. I believe the M4 was taken out, so now the Black Prince is lit up, so we're trying to get some shots into them. All the while, we're still worried about the Skoda T40 and the T34-85, which they're in a platoon, and they're both very, very good players according to XVM. We are able to get some good shots into the Black Prince, and he's taken out there. Finally, the T34-85 is relit. I aim at him and try to get a shot into him, and I do manage to take a pretty good shot at him. He's taken out, so now we're just down to the Skoda T40. We still don't know where he's at. He was last spotted around the church, but you can see we have guys around there, so he's not there right now. And then the enemy T29 is spotted, so we try to get shots on him as well. And we still have to worry about the Artie. He's here somewhere, so we always have that in the back of our mind that he could be hiding anywhere, and we could probably be taking a Artie shot. So then the Skoda T40 was spotted. The Immel was spotted. I take a shot at the Immel because it's an easier shot than the Skoda T40, and he's taken out. I do take one last shot at the Skoda T40 just to see if I get lucky. But we're still thinking that we need to get on the move because Artie just took a shot at us, so we need to find him. Our guess is he's still somewhere in the woods to our right, so we're kind of keeping an eye there, but we still need to get the pressure put on the Skoda T40 and the Scorpion so they don't get easy shots. So it's just the Scorpion, the Artie, and the Skoda T40 left on the team. And right there, the S51 is finally spotted, and we managed to take him out. So now it's more or less a mop-up roll. This wasn't a great game to show the strengths or weaknesses of the T20. We just pretty much kept pushing. We never really stopped for too long, so we never really did get hull down or anything. Never had to really. I take a shot at the Scorpion, get lucky, and just barely clip the top of his tank. But yeah, like I was saying, it's not a great game to showcase how to go hull down or whatever. And I'm by no means an expert on that, but it's still a very strong tank if you're able to do that. So it's just a mop-up roll. We're just pushing, kill the Scorpion, and then we're gonna move on to the next replay. The next replay, we are top tier again, same platoon, except this time we have Kilroy instead of Jeremy, and he's in his IS-2. So we're top tier. This is Sand River. Sand River is a pretty good map to showcase the gun depression and the ability to go hull down with all the different dunes down the 1-2 line and out in the middle of the CD 5, 6, 7 area. I do that a little bit, but not a lot. But I am able to show a little bit of that in this replay, so I figured this would be a good one for that. As you can see, most of our tanks went to the south on the 1-2-3 line, and we have one jumbo going across the A line in the north, and then we have a few tanks in the middle near the river area. But really, our northern flank is completely unprotected, so we know that we're going to have to fall back at some point if they do press that flank. Luckily, our Hellcat, I believe it was, that got most of the spots, so we know roughly what to expect on the other side of this dune. So I decided that I'm going to try to eventually pull up to where Jake and the IS-2 is, and try to do some reversing up the side of the dune, which is pretty good in this tank. You can do that pretty well and still keep your hull protected and only expose your turret when you have to. It's a pretty good strategy that I've picked up watching different YouTube videos, and people like Quickie Baby play some of the tanks that's able to do that. The T29 definitely is able to do that as well. So you can see right here we have an AMX M445, an IS-2 I believe pops up, there he is, yep, SU-100Y and a Skoda T25 I believe it is, and then a T29 gets lit up. So I'm going to try to do what I was talking about by reversing backwards up the side of the dune to get an angle on this SU-100, and I'm able to do that. I get a shot into him. And then I noticed the AMX M4 is pushing pretty aggressively on this side, so I'm trying to keep him at bay as well, keep my turret turned to him as often as I can so he doesn't get any easy shots on the side of my turret. Our Stug 3 gets taken out, so I know that I need to put some pressure on this AMX if I can. So I do tunnel vision here a little bit, trying to back up, get gun depression on the AMX, but unfortunately that enables a T29 to get a shot into the side of my turret. I am able to return fire on the IS-2, get a penetrating shot on him. I noticed Dax and Jake pushing a little bit, but I know that if I push with them, then the IS-2, T29, and the AMX will have a free reign to push and get in behind us. But you can see right here I'm bouncing all these shots from the Skoda T25, and I'm able to finish him off once I reload. And so now we have a Cromwell, IS-2, AMX, just gets taken out. So now it's just the IS-2, T29, and a Cromwell that we have to worry about as far as we can tell on this flank. So now I have a few choices. I can either poke the ridge and take a shot at the IS-2 or the T29. I can see that the T29 is kind of wiggling his turret. I don't think he wants me to get an easy shot on him, but I'm going to try to do the reverse up the dune again, try to see if I can get a shot on the IS-2 because he has lower health of both of them. But while I'm doing that, I'm keeping an eye on the T29. You can see right here I'm reversing. T29 takes a shot, so I know I can back up as fast as I can and try to get a shot at the T29. It's kind of tricky, but once you're able to put a good shot in the back of the IS-2's turret. And then you keep the T29 in front of you if you can. I'm sitting there wiggling. I don't know why. Maybe I was thinking there might have been a TD or something on the far ridge that might have had a shot on me. Right here, I take a quick shot on the IS-2. The T29 wasn't even paying attention to me. Now I know that I can pretty much get in behind this guy with no problems, and my platoon mates are able to get some fire at him as well, so we're able to just punish this T29. I realize I am no expert when it comes to driving the T29, but I don't think I would have crossed this ridge if I was the enemy T29, because that opens you up to so many different guns, not just the ones that was directly in front of him. So I charge him. I was going to go for the kill shot, but he gets taken out. So now that we got the southern flank secure, we need to get back to the north and protect our cap, because it looks like the enemy team has a clear path to our base. Fortunately, our Hellcat was able to take out the KV-1, but there's still plenty of other tanks over there that we need to protect the cap from. All we have now in our base is a KV-1 and a Hellcat. You can see that the E-25 has now been lit, so he's definitely a threat to everybody there. He has a fast rate of fire on that tank, and it's a very accurate German gun, so we definitely need to get back and get some shots into those guys. So the end of this match for me really is a showcase of my inexperience with this tank. I definitely make some very big mistakes that I know I shouldn't have made, but looking back, it's easy to have 20/20 hindsight. But in the heat of the game, I should have probably decided to get in a better position to stay hull down. But I tunnel vision. I see the Type T34. I'm like, I could take some shots of this guy. He's not a big threat. You know, he's only tier 5. Hellcat's shooting HE at me, so I know he's over there on the ridge somewhere. But I press forward regardless. I see that Jake and the IS-2 is badly damaged. I guess I had a instinct to protect my platoon mate, but at the same time, I take some risks that I really didn't have to take, and it does end up costing me my tank. We do end up winning this battle, but it is an ugly loss of a tank for me that I could have avoided if I would have just played a little bit smarter and got in a better position. So at this point, I'm taking shots from multiple angles. The Type T34 will start taking shots at me, and you see the M4 is taking shots at me. There's the Type shooting at me. So I mean, it's just at this point, it's all she wrote for my tank. So unfortunately, it was a bad ending. A very strong early and mid game, but I just didn't play very well at the end. So I guess moving on to the last replay. Our last replay is a standard battle on Overlord. It's a tier 8 match, and I am platooned with Jeremy and his Tiger. And if you look closely at the enemy platoon number 1, you'll see several people that's actually in my clan. So we got matched up against an opposing clan platoon, so this should be interesting. You'll see in the chat that Jeremy and myself, we start using Platoon Chat because we are actually in TeamSpeak with these guys. So we're kind of like talking back and forth, like, you know, we're gonna try to focus down a specific person. According to XV, I'm the better player, and we don't want to give up our strategies, obviously, to the guys we're playing against. So we just had a good laugh at that. My favorite spot on the Overlord map to come to is the eastern side of the map with all the different hedgerows and hills that you can use your gun depression and get hold down behind. So that's where I'm going with my T29. That's where I always go, usually with the mediums and heavies, unless it's in a pretty good matchup where I think I can go to the 3-4-5 line, but I never have any good luck there. I'm much better at playing these hedgerows and hills right here as opposed to the other area. Unfortunately, our Skoda T25 driver gets taken out pretty early, so some of the eyes that we had on these tanks is now gone. And the Challenger driver is actually Shadow Tanker. She is a pretty good player, so we definitely want to try to get some shots into her. The SU-100M1, that's Jake. He's a very good player as well. He's our clan leader. And I have no idea what this KV5 driver does. He does this several times where he just pushes up and he takes a lot of damage. I do bounce, but I'm able to get a return shot into the machine gun port right here. He does pin me, but it's a good exchange. I hit him for more, and he takes a lot more of a beating than I do. Like I said, he does this several times. I don't understand what exactly he's doing. According to XVM, he's a good player, so I think he just gets frustrated and charges us a few times. So you can see my strategy. What I'm doing is I'll poke up, try to get some shots on, only expose my turret if I can, and pull back. And right there, the challenger Shadow Taker's lit up. I take a shot, and then Jeremy takes a shot, so she takes a punishment. She backs off. And the T150 and the ARL is both spotted. I try to take a shot on him. Actually, no, I don't. I get scared because the Artie finally found me. I bounce off the IS and pull back. So I know the Artie's taking an interest in me, so I definitely need to take a little bit better precaution and protect my tank as best as I can. Unfortunately, I'm down to repair kit, so what I'm trying to do now is just play cautiously and try to get some shots on these guys as sneaky as I can without drawing the attention of the Artie again if I can. Unfortunately, at this point, we are losing 1-2. I am lit up, so I pull back. I try to get a shot onto Jake, try to get some damage into him, but unfortunately, my aim was way off and I dunked the shot right in front of me. He's still lit up, then he goes darker here, so I had to try to get a blind shot just to try to get him a little scared of poking again like that. So if you notice the T34 to our right in the east, he's actually holding up the ARL and the IS pretty well, so we're able to play a little bit more aggressively. And here comes the KV5 again. I have no idea what he's doing. Like I said, I think he just gets frustrated that we're not able to push this flank, and he just rushes for some reason. And I don't know what he's trying to do. I take a no damage shot from the SU-8 Artie, and I bounce the KV5, and we're able to finish him off. So now I think we can push just a little bit more aggressively now that the KV5 is dead. We are still losing 2-3. I'm trying to get up here, get a shot on this T150. And you can see right here, someone shoots. I don't know if that was someone on my team shooting past me. I don't know if it was Jeremy or whatever, or if somebody was shooting from the ridge line towards me. So I'm definitely a little bit more cautious than I would be. I take a blind shot at the T150, and I notice that he's about to poke this ridge, hopefully. And if I get a decent roll, I can one-shot him. So I'm setting up for that shot right now. And here he comes. I'm reloading. He crests the ridge. I get a side shot into his turret and take him out. So now it's 4-5. It doesn't look like we're able to pull the lead back to tie game just yet. So every time we kill something, something else on our team gets killed. So it's definitely a tense match at this point. And last spotted Jake was still down at the end with his SU-100M1. The ARL just took a massive hit. I get lit up again. And right now I'm talking in TeamSpeak to Jake. I'm like, you must have really good camo. And he said, yeah, he does. And he keeps lighting me up, and I'm definitely scared to poke that ridge again. And you can see in the Platoon Chat, Jeremy informs me that he's going to go back towards the base. I try to get a quick shot in the ARL. I'm able to connect and finish him off, and right there you can see the Yak Tiger 88. He's down there as well. So I'm definitely inclined to agree with helping Jeremy fall back a little bit, because we can't get any eyes on those guys just yet, and they're probably relocating as well because of the T34 and the T25 too, both on full HP, until the T34 gets a shot taken. I believe it was probably by the Yak Tiger 88. So I decided I'm going to relocate as well, get more closer to the western flank, and try to get some shots on these guys. But I figure I'm going to try to take a shot at this Yak Tiger 88 as well, take a pretty good player and a decent tank out of the game as well. So I sort of poke up here, try to stay as concealed as I can behind these bushes, and I pull up, and I'm not able to see where he's at because of the bushes. And he is behind the house, but he is showing just a little bit, and he pulls back, and then he makes a mistake and pulls forward, and I go to plant a shot right into the side of his tracks, and it does penetrate and take him out. So if you look on the map, you can see the T34 is basically where Jake and the SU-100M1 was, so he's definitely not there. He's definitely relocated. And I noticed that Dax, the other member of our clan that's in the enemy platoon, he was spotted down around the G3 area. So I figure I'm going to come down and try to get some crossfire. Right now I'm just waiting to see if anybody gets lit up. And there's Jake. He definitely did relocate. He's way down here on this end now. The Artie gets lit up. So now we're feeling pretty good. We're finally in the lead. It's 10-8. I'm pretty sure I can get some shots onto Jake if I poke carefully, but he's probably expecting me. You see he's turning his tank towards me. I've been spotted. I put a shot into him, but unfortunately he returns fire and penetrates me, so now I'm down to 435 HP, so I got to play very cautiously. Now Jake of the SU-100M is a one-shot for me, but unfortunately he pulls back, and I'm able to look at Dax and his T29, and he's presenting the side of his turret to me. Unfortunately my first shot sells completely wide, and I'm thinking he's going to relocate, but he doesn't. He's just moving back and forth. I do get a low roll It doesn't finish him off, leaves him on 71 HP, unfortunately. So he's able to survive my shot, but not for much longer. Jake has went dark. He has relocated again. He's on the move. I take another shot at the T29 Dax, and I miss, and he's finally taken out. So now it's down to Jake and his SU-100M1. And that's basically all she wrote for this match. He is a very good player, but I don't think he's going to be able to take 7 tanks out with a badly damaged SU-100M1. So we're just mopping him up right now, and that's going to do it for this replay. So I guess my official review, all in all, is a very strong, very good Tier 7 heavy tank. Very good frontal armor. Decent hull armor, but you definitely want to go hull down if you can to protect it. I definitely do recommend it. It's not that bad of a grind. You can either get to it from the M4 Jumbo or the M6 Heavy, which I recommend going down the heavy line because you'll have the 90mm at least unlocked with the M6, and you don't have to use the 76mm that you get from the Jumbo. But yeah, all in all, I'd say grab this tank if you don't already have it. It's a very good tank. It is a very forgiving tank for newer players like myself, so it's definitely worth the buy and worth the garage slot. So yeah, as always, guys, I appreciate watching, and stay tuned for more.